Hey guys, what is going on? It's Carl here, and since the holidays and Christmas is right around the corner, I thought it'd be a great time to make a best or top tech gifts guide for 2013. And I'll start at the lowest end of the budget and I'll work my way to the top to the most unobtainable things that only the super baller, rich and famous can afford. But let's get right into it. And the first thing that you could start giving, of course, is none other than a game. And in my opinion, this can be either the best or the worst gift that you can give someone. If you give them one of the best games out for the season, they'll definitely love it and play it forever. And if you give them the worst, they just might never touch it and it might be a total waste. And a lot of my friends and family always say $60, that seems like a lot of money for a game. But when you think about it, if you put say 30 to say 60 hours into a game, that only comes to $1 to $2 per hour per game, which is definitely a sweet investment. I myself, a next-gen consoler, I have the Xbox One, so I'm really loving Battlefield 4, Dead Rising 3. You can always get them Call of Duty, you can't go wrong since there'll be a lot of people online and you'll definitely spend a lot of time playing that one. On the side of PlayStation 4, you can get them Killzone, which is a PS4 exclusive, or of course, going on to the Nintendo Wii U, you have Wind Waker HD, which is definitely one of my favorite games from GameCube back in the day. And the next thing we're going to go on to is tablets, and I'm going to say that the Nexus 7 is probably the best bang for your buck tablet out there. It's a 7-inch tablet, runs $220, and it comes with an HD 1920 by 1200 screen. It is absolutely gorgeous, performs without flaw. It runs stock Android, which is key, and also has the upgrade ability to go to KitKat 4.4, and you'll receive those updates straight from Google whenever they're released, so it's definitely the way to go for a tablet, in my opinion. Next off, we have another console to give. This is a bit more expensive. It is none other than the 3DS XL, and this one is the Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds bundle. But if you guys went out on Black Friday and braved the crowds, you could have snagged one for $150, which is definitely a pretty good deal. You're saving yourselves 50 bucks. So for those of you that are handheld gamers, look no farther than a 3DS XL. And we're moving on to cell phones, and myself, I currently own an HTC One, and although this has been on the market for a couple months, I would definitely recommend it to all you users out there. It's crafted out of aluminum, it feels premium in your hands, and has that customization of Android that I love. And for those of you that are interested in newer handsets, there's also the Nexus 5, which is a great budget phone. It runs at around $300, but has a powerhouse quad-core processor, has stock Android KitKat 4.4. Some minor drawbacks though are the camera and the speaker, but if you're looking for that kind of phone, I've heard a lot of good things about the LG G2, which is a similar phone to the Nexus 5, essentially just an upgrade up, but you'll definitely pay a bit more money. And lastly, of course, we have the iPhone 5S. A lot of iPhone users will definitely jump on this the holiday season. If you can get a gold version, you'll definitely look a bit different. That was the most sought after version. And some features, of course, include the fingerprint sensor, as well as the new A7/M7 co-processing chip. And it's definitely the fastest iPhone that I've used to date. And moving up the money scale, next off we have some more tablets, and these of course are from Apple. This is the iPad mini with Retina display. This was just released, as well as the iPad Air. And although I use an Android device as my daily driver for my cell phone, I still think that Apple holds the edge in the tablet market. You don't have the customization options, however you have a lot of apps that are tailored specifically for iOS or are built on iOS, made for that larger screen. Whereas Android tablets, I still think they're great. However, I still, as I mentioned, definitely think that Apple still has a slight edge in terms of apps and compatibility. I would like to see Apple reduce their prices for their iPads. However, Apple has been notorious for having extremely high prices. You're paying $100 more for an extra, say, 16 gigs, which I think is absurd. However, all you Apple users out there that still continue to buy their products and keep that demand high, I don't see Apple changing that in the near future. Moving on in money scale, we of course have none other than next-gen consoles. Myself, I have the brand new Xbox One, as I've mentioned. You can also get the PlayStation 4. It's really up to you. And if I could give you guys any advice on which device to get, I would definitely say look at your friends list. If most of your friends play Xbox, stay on the Xbox One. If most of them play PlayStation 4, stick on the PS4 because when it comes down to it, gaming is about having fun with your friends. And you don't want to say, oh, $100, the Xbox One's a bit pricier, I don't want to make that jump up. But if you're the only one playing PlayStation 4 and all your friends are on the Xbox One, you won't have as much fun. And in terms of gaming, the games now aren't optimized yet to fully utilize the power behind each of their consoles. I believe Battlefield 4 I've been impressed with most. Call of Duty and say FIFA 14 just look like polished versions of the older gen PlayStation 3 or 360, so you can hold off on some of those games. However, if you're really interested in upgrading to the next gen console, you'll definitely be paying the premium price, but there's always that price to pay for early adapters. And moving on, we have the next gen MacBook Pros, of course, as your next upgrade for your laptop. I myself have a 15-inch Retina MacBook Pro from last year. However, from work, I recently just got a 13-inch MacBook Pro with the Haswell chipset, and I can say that I've been absolutely impressed with this thing. They've reduced the price by $200, so there's definitely no better time to buy a MacBook Pro than now. The battery life is amazing, 9 hours compared to say some of my friends' Windows laptops that die in 3-4 hours. So you're getting double the usage time, and for me, Apple laptops, and I'll leave it at that, just seem to work for me the best. I've always used OS, as I've said. I had my first Apple Power Mac, I believe, when I was 11 years old, and I've never looked back. So for me, Apple's the way to go for computers, but of course there are other options out there for you if you are a Windows user. And lastly, of course, if money is no object to you, you can take a look at 4K monitors. They run around $3,000 to $4,000. I've seen some deals on Black Friday for cheaper ones, no-name brands, for around $1,000, but it's a touchy subject, 4K. It has 4 times the display or 4 times the resolution as 1080p. However, there's not many sources that can utilize 4K yet. You have a few video options. However, if you're watching TV, if you're playing games, even on your next gen consoles, they can't use 4K technology yet. So you'll definitely, as I mentioned, pay the price for adapting early. However, if you really have the money to blow, a 4K monitor might be for you. So guys, that pretty much wraps up my review of the top tech gadgets or gaming gadgets for 2013. As the holidays come closer, I wish you guys a very Merry Christmas, or whatever you do celebrate, just enjoy this time with friends and family, as it is, a time to get together and enjoy yourselves. So hopefully you guys did like this video, and if you did, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel as it does help me out a bunch, and of course, I'll catch you guys in my next episode. Peace.